on, guys? Urban Bass Layers here again. Ended up going to the store today to Bass Pro Shops, and I got some of these rattles. They're the 5mm Glass Rattles, and they got little they're Pyrex Glass Rattles with steel balls in them, and they're vacuum sealed, and they got a little point on the end of them, as you can see there. That little point, and you can stick them inside the bait, stick them inside Senkos. I've been crushing it this year doing this. I usually use topwater baits and frogs and stuff like that. I've been using this color Senko. Obviously I didn't want to blow this one out because I just poured this, but for a demonstration I'll use this old Senko. You see how when I put it in it blows it out? The problem with that is when you get a couple bites, the fish will blow the Senko out and your rattle will go flying out. These things aren't cheap. It's $6 for a pack of 10 of these. And so what I'm going to try to do today is I have a Yamamoto mold right here for Senkos. It's each one is a 4-chamber mold. I got it from Do It Molds. Do It Molds is pretty good with their stuff. I'm pretty happy with their products. There's a bunch of other mold companies out there you can buy aluminum molds from that I'm also looking into. But Do It, I found them and I've just been buying stuff from them because they're pretty good. I mean, I got all kinds of colorants and flake and stuff. And when I recycle the black, I usually will throw like some purples and some greens and blues back up in there, just because I want like multi-flake. If you look at these guys up close, I mean, there's every color flake in there. I can throw these in clear water, muddy water, murky water, everything, and they work because they got every color in them. I mean, they got purples, greens, blues, every color you can think of. So the thing is, I want to try to put these glass rattles inside of them while I mold them. So it's gonna take a couple of tries to see if I can do it, but I think I could do it. I think I could mold the glass rattles inside of the baits. That way I don't have this big blowout when I stick them in, because they'll pop out like this, and when you go to cast, there goes your rattle, and it's gone. And when they're on a bite, when they're eating it with these rattles inside the Senkos, I'm telling you, man, I was hooking these in here and throwing these out on a 3/0 Yamamoto hook, and I always use the red ones. The reason why I use the red Yamamoto hooks, it's not because they're red, it's because they have that coating on it. There's something about that coating compared to the regular, just plain metal Yamamoto hooks or any kind of hooks. Something about that red, it just keeps the bait, it holds the bait better. I noticed that a long time ago, your baits tend to slip down less when you have that coating on the hook. So I used the red 3/0 Yamamoto, and I was throwing these things out where I would usually be frogging, like working a bait really fast and bringing it in. Instead, this year, what I figured out was throwing it on top of the mat where the fish would be underneath on the beds, and just shaking the Senko above their head with that click in there. So you got the movement and you got that click going in there with that rattle. And man, I caught a couple really good ones. I caught a 6. My biggest one that I caught this year doing that was a 6. So, I mean, it works. I'm gonna try to get this going. The other thing about these is I like to use these like flukes. I like to hook them like that Texas rig and get these down on the bottom with that rattle in it and thump it like a fluke. I mean, these things go erratic. I've caught some really big fish doing that, because when they're down there and they're lethargic and they want to eat or they don't want to eat, you're trying to get them to react. So when you're thumping that thing right in front of their face and it comes by them and it's got that rattle in there and it's bumping back and forth like a fluke, they're gonna lash out and they're gonna eat it. So one of my little secret weapons, don't tell everybody about them, but go get yourself some rattles, man. I forget how I came upon these. I think they had them at an old Kmart before Kmart took a dump, and they were having like a clearance old Kmart over off of Auburn a long time ago. And I went and I bought all the packs of them. I seen them and I was thinking to myself, what are these? And I tried them out down at Dry Creek, and they work pretty good in little smaller Senkos like this. So if you're fishing for like smaller fish, also drop down to like a 1 or 2 gamakatsu hook instead of a 3 with the smaller Senkos like this in a little glass rattle, like in the creeks, fishing down like Dry Creek in Roseville. You'll kill it doing that, man. Anyway, I'm gonna get to trying to pour some of these and see if I can do it. Thanks for watching. Hope you like what I'm trying to do here. Just trying to get creative with some stuff. We're best layers. Thanks for watching. So what I decided to do is I'm just going to cut these at the size of where I put these rattles at in here. And I always put them up in the middle right here of where my hook is. That way it doesn't mess with the tail. So if you put them in the tail, it's a little thinner back there. It doesn't really work very well. So I always put the glass rattles up in the front right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these. I'm going to stick these back in the mold with this glass rattle. I'm going to stick the glass rattles in just like that into the mold. You can see that. Try to do that, and then I'm just going to pour the tops back over it, so it'll just be sealed in there, and hopefully I can get them straight. Don't have to be exactly straight, but I'm hoping they get straight. I don't know, never done this, so I'm going to try it, see how it works. If they work, then I don't have to sit there and mess with them. When I'm out fishing, I can just pull a new one out of my bag and hook it on, and I don't have to waste the time putting the rattle inside, and then also don't have to worry about losing rattles as much. So we got these kind of set up in here with the rattles in them. This guy up and got my injector here. I gotta warm it up. I just bought some new gloves. Got my card in here. Go about a minute, 2 minutes in the first couple rounds, and then I just keep going every 30 seconds. Pushing some of that stuff that's not melted down into the melted stuff. Just keep going 30-second intervals until it's ready to pour. Totally just forgot to film that. So poured some in here and injected this, and it's drying up a little bit. I'll give it a second and I'll check and see. I'm hoping, because it's Pyrex glass, that it doesn't break. Unfortunately, one of these guys in the package already has a chip in it and it's broken. So what'll happen if it gets a hole in it like that is the water gets inside of it. Once the water gets inside of the rattle, they won't rattle the water. The water will keep the balls from going back and forth. So this one may be toasted, unless I can take a little piece of glass that broke out of it and two-tone epoxy it back on there. Who knows? I may just toss this one. That sucks. I just tossed that one. It's got some settling going on. Should be alright. I topped it off. I always want to top it off. This guy over here. This guy should be cool to the touch. Get it out. Already dry. Toss that in there. This guy's ready to go again. What do you know, it worked. Turn that noisy fan off so you can actually hear. Cool, now I don't have those holes in them. They're ready to go. I can just get these guys and put them in my package them up, throw them in my fishing bag. Now I got something nobody else has. Everybody's throwing that. Throwing regular stick Senkos. Vacuum rig that thing. You get, I thought about putting one of these in each end. And when you wacky rig it, you'll have two, and you'll have actually put them in the very end instead of Texas rigging, and you'll have two. So now when you bump these, that's when they shine. I mean, you can dead stick these things, and when they pick them up, also, when they pick it up, that rattle will go in their mouth. As soon as they pick it up, boom, that rattle goes in their mouth and it gives a little bit of a vibration. And those fish think that this thing's trying to get away, and they bite on it, and they hold these things, man. They will bite down on this and they will nail it. They won't let go. So yeah, like I was saying, I caught I think it was it was almost a 7-pounder on one of these, just tossing it out and shaking it on top of the mat. And this hits right here. So yeah, I mean, it looks awesome. And then what I do is I Texas rig them, obviously, and I use a little tiny tungsten weight. I think it's a 1/3 ounce tungsten weight, little small one. And then I peg it. The reason I use those small ones, I don't want the bait to drop too fast. These things, the Senkos are already salted, so using a big weight, big bullet weight, you're going to drop your bait too fast. I like to use the small ones to get through the cover if you need to like pitch them, but they also, you can throw them on top of the cover, and it's enough to cast it out far, but it won't pop it down through the cover if you want to stay on top, and you can shake them on top of that cover. When you get the really thick mats. I've been catching a lot of fish. We went and fished this little small pond the other day, and I forgot my camera at home, and we were getting these little tiny bass, but over in the Thomas area, this little pond is by a storage area. It's got this little point with the island on it. We were getting the little guys to jump out of the water and come over on top of the bait, on top of the Senkos, and eat them. It was pretty fun. I think we might go back out there in a couple days and fish it again if they're still biting that way, just to get some footage of it. Anyway, I haven't been putting out much footage. be honest with you, I had a very big problem. I went and I bought some line recently, and it was some trilene, low-vis green line that I've been using for like 5 years, and I've never had a problem with it. The problem with this stuff was I went back and looked on the actual spool that I got from the store, and the line itself had nicks in it every like 8, 9, 10 feet. And so I hooked into another monster fish out at our spot, the auction, and it snapped me off. And I was pretty fucking pissed off, excuse my language, but I was pretty mad, and I didn't fish for a couple days after that. Once I realized that it was my line that was defective, like I was bummed out, because I always check my gear and I always make sure everything was good. I had just taken off my old line, and I had just re-spooled my entire thing, put on a brand new hook, brand new Senko, brand new everything. I cast out the first cast by a tree, shake it on top of the mat. As soon as it comes off the mat and it goes into the open water, it sank down. The fish bit, and I set the hook. One of the hardest bites and best pulls I've ever had on a fish. That thing pulled so hard and just ding, gone. Broke my line. So like I said, I went back through yesterday. We were out fishing, and I was showing my buddy Rich the line, and yep, it was defected. So you can't sit there and say, oh well, the line's bad, don't ever buy it again. It's just like when I make product myself here, I know some of it's defective. So what I do when I go through my Senkos and I know there's defective Senkos, I break them up, I cut them up, and I throw them right back in. Every one of these Senkos that's in this group right here, not one of them has an air bubble. There's not a problem with any one of these. They're perfect. Same thing with these Mighty Bugs. They don't have any air pockets in them. They're solid. They're nice. I had some that didn't come out solid. Some of the legs didn't come out completely good. And this is a plaster mold, so it's not exactly perfect, but I mean, there's no air pockets. These are solid. You get the ones that got air pockets and stuff. So that's, I don't know, I guess that's my whole thing, is I can't bust their cojones off of one spool of line that was bad, but really probably made me lose a PB. I mean, I've been losing big fish left and right. I've been getting really mad about it and didn't really want to talk about it, but sitting here and thinking about it the last 2 days, it's all right. We're hooking into bigger fish nowadays, and hooking into bigger fish means that I'm going to have to start upgrading all my gear, upgrading my line, upgrading everything I do. I was at Bass Pro Shop yesterday, looking at all their reels and their rods and stuff, and talking to a few guys in there, and I don't know. I went and I bought some Power Pro braid, some 30-pound, and I bought some more line. I bought a bunch of other stuff at Bass Pro Shops just to get on my game, man. I gotta get on my game. I don't know. I've been fishing for about 8 years and started doing this as a therapy, basically. Went through a divorce and lost my house, lost everything, and yeah, so this is my therapy. This is what I do to get my mind out of a bad place. So, Herb Basslers, I hope you guys that watch my videos, I appreciate the comments on those of you that do watch and say that you're learning stuff from watching me. Actually, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going on a whim here, just you know, having fun, fishing, therapy, the whole 9 yards. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I want to start taking these out, and I'm going to start packaging some of these baits up and just have them on me. And you guys see me out fishing, or you happen to see me or whatever when I'm out at the local, like Natomas Ponds, Folsom Ponds, or anywhere around here fishing, I'm going to start giving these away to people, just because just giving some baits away, man, so people can get out and fish and have some fun. I mean, I got bags and bags of these like swim baits here, big crawdads. I got tons of little crawdads. I mean, these are just little piles. I've got bags and bags and bags of them. And there's really no point in me trying to sell them. It cost me really not that much to make them, and it's just fun to do. So I'm gonna start doing that. So anyway, Herb Basslers, having fun, making some shaky Senkos. Really liking that idea. I'm gonna get back and I'm gonna make some more. Thanks for watching, guys. Herb Basslers 2019.